Good morning, good evening, and good night, wherever you are, and welcome to Requiem for London Chronicles, The City of Martyrs, Chapter 2. And we begin our scene going through the busy streets of London, through some of the more quiet, peaceful areas to the loud business centres, and then past them, zooming before the grand buildings to the small kind of ghettos to Brick Lane. A live, lush, and positive place. You see people scattered around. You see tourists, you see youth, you see old, you see Londoners living in London. They go along these sort of streets, again covered in these sort of very old Roman bricks that lay before you, giving the name of Brick Lane. And all these shops and restaurants, you hear people beckoning them in, come 2 for 1 offer, come you sir, let's get a good deal going. It's life here, 24/7 of life. And as we go further along this street where the old and the new mix, we see a simple yet complex shop, the sound of industry, the sound of machinery coming and emerging from the inside. We see a title, a light, a neon light brightening the sky, and then we see one of the letters fading and breaking. But this light gives the word Brick Chop Shop. The go-to place if you wish for new car, parts, or simple mechanic to give you an MOT. Off the books, of course. And as we go to this character who sees these neon lights and sees this flickering, one of the letters coming on and off, and his thoughts and his feelings. Take it away.
As he's walking down Brook Lane, there is an element of relief in John's posture, not just to know that the Carthians are back in town, but to see that there is perhaps an area of London that isn't swamped in negativity, or perhaps there's just less of it relative to the rest of the city. It's kind of it's been something of a very mixed fortnight, in the sense that it's been 2 weeks of rebuilding, but also 2 weeks of just something positive. And to see that he's walking down Brook Lane and see that hasn't been too adversely affected is also something positive. And he's quite happy just to see that as he begins to round the corner into the shop, not looking particularly out of place, given his new state of being, and the fact that yes, he has had a shower, because he doesn't like smelling of rats, or rather, it's very impolite to smell of rats. He's not exactly a man of the grandest stature, but he still tries. And he has expectations on him now that he's kind of a prominent figure in the rebuilding of this church, and kind of like trying to be a community pillar. He's got to make a bit more of an effort for personal cleanliness, even if he does love Sir Squeaky and his dog Ranger. He ultimately is not them. And can't always smell like them.
Well, as you just your approach, you've washed, you've actually made an effort. It's been so long since you've actually met a Carthian in your hiding and been in London, and you kind of have these expectations and these thoughts. And even when you did meet some of the Carthians, only briefly, and even then it was when the city was like falling, and they were quite brutish.
Yeah,
Under the blood thieves
pretty lethal.
Yeah, they were quite monstrous, not particularly talkative anyway. So, and as you approach the chop shop, the Brick Lane chop shop, you look at the neon lights, and yes, you see one in flicker, and then you kind of look around you, and it's that Brick Lane again is filled with that graffiti, that imagery, that artwork, and it's so reminds you of the Carthian tunnels. It's that same like hidden messages hidden within the graffiti, hidden codes, messages that you can interpret or you can sense or smell via your kindred essence. And of course, you can sense that some of the logos, some of the artwork is drawn or written in blood. And it marks these symbols, these markings, and you recognize them instinctively almost as territory marks, as if the Carthians announcing this is ours, this place is ours, but it's also yours if you want it. It's this kind of open and yet defensive message that's being announced. And you recognize it almost instinctively. You more so because you've seen these symbols, these kind of graffiti markings before in the tunnels of the Shunt Club. And as you approach the chop shop, you see before you not like an office or doorway to come in, but you just see the main garage door open up, and you see the sparks flying and the sounds of industry coming from this shop. You see grinders, you see sort of heavy industrial equipment being used on cars, cutting and assembling. You hear the heartbeats and the sounds of mortals walking back and forth, but you definitely sense that you're on another kindred's territory, another kindred's haven or safe place. And, these are the thoughts coming to you as you present yourself or go towards this shop.
Head towards the shop, largely avoiding some of the more flashy equipment, largely because he doesn't really want to provoke an incident, and he's very much aware as a gangrel of how jumpy and fickle the beast can be when it comes to such matters. So he generally takes a bit of a wide arc around some of the people's work. And to be honest, they don't really need to be disturbed when they're handling such dangerous and delicate equipment. It's not really why he's here. So he just largely kind of walks by them, maybe gives them kind of a nod, that kind of acknowledges them if they acknowledge him. But other than that, just doesn't really pay them too much mind. And yeah, we'll effectively make his way around the shop to see if he can find the owner of this place so that he can present himself if he isn't approached first.
You move into the shop, and again you move in and out, and it's straight. There's just activity, life, people, lots of people, mix and match of people, just scattered throughout this whole establishment, this whole place. There's a feeling to it. There's a life to it, and again, you're quite attuned to it. You feel almost at home. And as you go into the shop, you kind of stand somewhat like a sore thumb, straight out. And as you do, suddenly an individual will just tap you on the shoulder and look to you. And you just see him, and he'll cry out the words, "You right, laddie? You look a bit fucking lost."
Reminds me of that one guy who threw him through a fucking window. Yeah, I guess you could say that, to be honest.
And you hear him sort of creak his neck and snap it almost as if getting ready. And just like, Right. I think I know what you are, and I think it best. Yeah, fuck off.
Does this guy have like a bestial aura?
Yes, he instantly comes across as a kindred, instantly comes across as really angry kindred. He is a foot taller than you, very aggressive. What's the word? Fresh, young, poof, strong, powerful. He has that sense of instantly, just that sense of a newborn almost.
Okay. In which case, John will just kind of like like put his hands like sort of like when a footballer has done a foul, that sort of thing. It's just like I didn't do it. Just puts sounds like, hey, I'm not here to start trouble. I'm just here to meet a guy called Bloodgrove.
Another one off the streets. Really good.
I have a place of residence. I've been here a while.
Right. It's all about how well you come across to him, and I think a kind of a composure, not socialized. What would it be? It's not socialized. No.
Persuasion.
Persuasion. Yeah, let's just say composure and persuasion to represent how well you come across. But
Composure is
minusing 3 because this guy.
Oh, I have 3 dice, so.
Oh, this is a chance dice because this guy's just like doesn't.
I only get a 7, so I fail.
Okay, fair. So he just looks to you and instantly just goes, oh, we've had enough fucking rodents coming out here. All right, and he grabs you and just starts dragging you like across the floor as if to throw you out of the garage.
Mate, I'm not a vagrant. I've lived here longer than you.
Keep telling yourself that, little lad. And he's just sort of dragging you across the floor. And he's about to sort of throw you out, or he does throw you out. And God, he is really strong. He's really strong, even for young, even for kindred, he is quite strong. And he's just about to pick you up and throw you, and he just goes, right, no more vagrants. Yeah. Get the fuck out, you little custard. By the way, you can only barely understand every second word he says. It's just such a thick accent, or you're not sure whether he's got a lisp or whether it's definitely a Scottish tone to what he's saying.
Have you guys not changed since 10 years?
10 years? You on about, you forgot something? I fucking. And he just raises his fist up to punch you. But as he does this, you hear a voice in the background going, all right, hold off. And of course he turns, he looks and just goes, he's wee Rogan, I thought he has. And again the voice just says, drop him. Leave him be. Oh yeah, fucking guys, I've seen. Oh, fucking guys, and he just rants and moans even more and kind of wanders off back to sort of the area of the garage. And then you see before you another individual, another person who seems just sat behind the desk with a clipboard. He's filling some paperwork, and he seems to be just sort of emerges and is just sort of sat on the desk, let's say. And he sort of starts looking to you, go, so what's your name?
Jonathan Knight.
Jonathan. Never heard of you.
You might have heard of my sire.
Another one with a big sire, is it? We don't
I really wish
care about sires here.
Well, that's good, because I want nothing to do with him to begin with.
Now that is a good answer. Look, I apologise for little Ben over there. He gets a bit rough. Hit on the head too many times, I think.
We'll just call it water under a bridge. I'm not really here to start grudges.
Come on. I'll hear what you have to say. We're going to my office. A bit more private.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
And he sort of taps the clipboard on the desk and gestures for you to follow him. Everyone in the shop, they have watched you as you're being dragged out or being thrown out, but they look away or they don't look at you as you go in or as you emerge. They're busy at their work, and there's a kind of, as if it's not the first time this has happened, there's a sort of formula of what's going on right now. But he just gestures to walk into this kind of office where the windows are open into the garage. To a point, if you could give me a roll just to represent what you witness in the shop, what you're aware of in the shop, so this would be a wits and craft roll.
Oh, wits and craft. I'll just see if I have any dots in that.
If you do, it's wits and craft because it represents the.
I do not. It is a skill, so I think I lose 2 dice.
Oh, it's less. I think it's -3 if it's a skill. So yeah, you're.
Let's see. What's my? So I don't think I have the.
You can roll a chance dice.
I'll roll a
dice.
Yeah, I'll roll.
If you roll a 1, it's a critical failure. But if you roll a 10, it succeeds.
Would have been a success if I won a chance dice.
Unfortunately, as you go through the shop towards the back office, you see the men they're working on something or they're doing something, but you have no idea. As your businesses with animals, I guess machines and mechanical parts aren't your thing, and they seem to be just fixing cars or tearing cars apart. You're not sure. In either case, you carry on, and as you go on, you move into this back office. And as you go, he gestures for you to sit down, and he draws the blinds, these really crappy, sort of awkward blinds that don't quite close fully, but he tries to make them do anyway. And as he does, he presents you to sit, and then he'll continue to walk and then sit the other side of the desk and put his feet up. And then looks to you and goes, right, what's your story then?
That's a fairly good question because I don't remember a good half of it, but let's see. I'm child of, you've probably heard of him, a guy called the Wolf, council member, big bad.
Well, actually, we might have to do some rolls here just to represent what's going on.
Yeah, so Jonathan just kind of says it very blasé. It's like,
yeah, as you say that, let's just simply, for this conversation, let's just do a your presence plus wits, I think. Yeah, you're trying to understand what he's doing, so it'd be your wits plus empathy versus his composure and socialize. And we'll
would I add my blood potency to this?
No. Okay. Blood potency is a separate thing. So it's just your wit and empathy because you're trying to discern what he's thinking and reacting.
No empathy, I lose a dice. So I only get to roll 2 dice. Shit. I got a 9 and a 10.
Oh, 9 and a 10. It's not
and a 6. So okay, I only get 2 successes.
All right, so he's got 4. So composure is 4. I think that was a skill. This was 3, so 7. Okay, so 7 d10. It's the 1 success. I don't know.
He gets exploding dice, so he can still draw with me. If he gets another 10, he can potentially win.
No, he doesn't. Okay.
Wow.
So he would have gotten defender win if he drew, but he doesn't. So carry on, basically. Carry on. And I'll describe what happens.
So Yeah.
So you carry on what you were saying about the wolf and etc.
To be honest, I was just an average Joe walking my dog until I got kidnapped one night and then turned into this. Pretty sure I was some sort of experiment. I don't know what the results are, but I'm pretty sure it ended up in the deaths of a lot of people, which I'm not really happy with at all. Then I more or less was cannon fodder at the later stages of the war 10 years ago for Blood Thief largely. Then after that, before the storm hit, I left because frankly I had had enough of being spontaneously embraced for a purpose which was never revealed to me without my consent. Then I was forcibly recruited into an organization which at the time really didn't have any intention of considering my opinion at all. Then I almost died a lot of times. I left, but after the war, there wasn't really a lot of demand for someone like me who was just kind of wandering around aimlessly, who was pretty good at throwing a punch, not really much else at the time. That pretty much sums up my 10 years of moving to place. Now I've come back here because it's more or less my make or break time. And for the first time in about 10 years, it looks like things are looking up.
Right, as you say all of this, as you explain all this, again, he just sits back and he's got the clipboard and he's trying to look bored. He's writing his notes, and you see this ashtray, this massive ashtray next to it. And he even lights up a cigarette. Again, very far distance. He's very cautious. You realise this is some kindred. They do smoke, but they make it quite obvious that they are friendly flame. But as this all occurs, it's very calm, very casual sort of thing he's doing. But you sense that twitch. You see him as soon as you say the wolf, as soon as you say like part of his experiments, as part of his. I can't remember most of it. Just the violence. He just sort of just twitches his eyes slightly and gives a concerning kind of okay. Like as if it means nothing, but then, yeah, no, he is quite shocked at that. He makes note of that, and he goes quiet for a bit actually, and it's quite a noticeable quiet. But then after this sort of quiet, he speaks to you and goes, "So you just decided to come back to London?" Come back to this place after what you've been through? That's a big surprise. That's
I didn't have a ton of choice in the matter, to be honest, and London for once looked like a clean break. I guess it's poetic in a way, but yeah, I can see the irony of it all.
Look, tell me, kid, what do you remember of your embrace? What can you recall when you was created, when you was made bloodborn, true seeker, kindred?
That's a good question. What he does, he remember. I know he remembers a lot of bodies.
That's it. That's yeah. You perfectly.
It.
Yeah, you remember a lot of bodies.
What was the room he was in? Just literally like a fucking panic room.
No, it was a rooftop.
It was a rooftop. Okay.
A rooftop.
Well, to be blunt, all I remember was waking up on a rooftop and a lot of corpses around me.
Jesus Christ! Wow. So we got a berserker on our hands. I did not think one of your kind still lived.
Berserker? What? I have no idea what that is. Sorry, mate.
Fuck. I gotta tell the boys about this one. I thought all of you died during the night of storms.
Well, I got out of Dodge before that happened. not long before it happened, a few hours.
Look, I don't know. This is a lot. You've just come into my, establishment, my haven, claiming this stuff. I'm not sure what to tell you. I'm not sure what not to tell you. He rubs his hands as if he's quite happy yet somewhat scared. It's strange. Look, it's probably best if I start first. Look, I am blood dry, but you can call me Earl. I used to be in the I helped found the Carthian movement, the Gallows Party, a long time ago, and they woke me up during the war of the Shard. Now, I can't be bothered to get into all the details, but let's simply say there's a choice between me to lead the Carthians after the leadership were removed, or the Blood Thief. Now, I think you know who won that little toss. I was cast out with some select friends of mine, and the Blood Thief was left in charge. Now, I'm assuming you know what happened while he was in charge, his reign, his rule.
He ate people.
Fucking, he didn't eat people, he ate souls, kid. He ate everything. They don't call him the Blood Thief because he just stole nickels and dimes. He fucking stole people. Look, there's a lot of history here. I could go into it, but in regards to you, I'll give you this favor at most. He had a crazy group called the Berserkers. They were freak show creations because of this outsider that helped him on it. They were his frontline troops. They're the ones that go in first, ate the most, devoured the most. The ones that survived were given honors and glory. Now, they all died pretty badly, pretty horribly, or they became so monstrous they had to be put down. But the fact that you're standing here, either you're a failed experiment or you somehow survived all that. Now, I'm not sure how to react. I don't know whether to stake you right now or to welcome you here.
Oh. Now it's my time to be stunned, I guess. I figured I was going to be a subject of controversy in somewhere or another. It tends to follow me around, but I have no intention of starting trouble. If you really don't want to have me, I'll just walk out of here and get back to my life. I didn't come here to start trouble with anybody. I just came here to make a little place for myself on one corner and live my life.
Look, the fact that you're not foaming from the mouth and trying to eat my workers here, it proves enough, okay? But you gotta give me some leverage here, because you're pretty much all dead. The fact that you're still here, that's surprising.
I had no idea we were even a thing, to be honest. I literally woke up one night, was used as frontline fodder, got tired of it, and left. It's
that's what worries me the most. You see, the Berserkers, they had no will. If they were Berserkers, they were just things. Now, the fact you've just saying you got will, you got thought, you got feelings, well, hallelujah. I praise you for that. But I'm still worried because that's not what.
The very fact that my will might not be owned fucking terrifies me, and I actually think, okay, so I do actually have something I need to come clean with you with. Something. The wolf is another child, and I just met her in the city about a month ago. Pretty
Oh,
sure she's bound to
Jesus
him entirely,
Christ.
and she's acting as one of the council's enforcers. I've been trying to find a way to get her to turn. It's been really fucking tricky.
Fucking rewind that. You're telling me the wolf is on the council?
From what I hear, I mean that's from the mouth of the person who's enforcing for him and is working with the Invictus's so-called sheriff.
That fucking voodoo scientist is on the goddamn council, and he has a child that's one of the fucking agents in the city. Right, we did not know that.
She's a real heavy hitter. It's a shame. She's actually pretty nice when she's not being forced to do horrible shit for, well, yeah, the crazy voodoo scientist.
Right, look,
And
she's bloodbound. Okay, my friend, I don't trust anything that comes out of that individual's mouth.
I mean, it doesn't help that something really weird has been happening with our blood sympathy. Like that's what I'm scared of. Something really fucking weird's been happening there.
After you saying this, and he just leans back and he's just so like
he's just like, what is this? What is my life?
Yeah, he's kind of this is an older like kid just trying to analyze what's going on, thinking he knows what's happening in the city.
Should I start from the beginning? Would that make this a little bit easier?
Look.
I know this is like I'm giving you a lot to take in, and then you're giving me a lot of kind of truth bombs here. I mean,
he just stands up and he goes to the back of the room and he gets a bottle out. Now it's a very dusty, very old looking bottle, and he starts to pour it. You can smell it instantly. It's a vitae, it's a blood sort of essence. It's a bit liquidy, watery almost, not very well kept. But he just sort of tells you, just go for it. I'm listening. I'm here. Consider me your goddamn priest. And sorry, out of character. You can explain everything you want to him, or just assume you explain everything to him.
I'd like to explain to him just because I want to see the whole list of reactions he has.
Yeah, fair enough. So carry on.
Is this blood? Does it smell like kindred vitae, or does it?
This is normal vitae, normal human vitae.
Normal human vitae.
It's been kept well, but it's not. It's not the same. Not as good as the real stuff, basically.
Yeah, it's not fresh blood. It's not, yeah, he'll say thanks. I appreciate it. Okay, so I guess I should start way back. What must be almost probably hitting my 3-month anniversary. As soon as I crossed over, so I came back here from about the west side of London. I've been going through some domains, as I talked about earlier, and seeing that London was empty looked like a clean break. Didn't really care about the council's involvement. I was never aligned with the council, so if they wanted to take the city with a bunch of baby neonates, they could try. They weren't going to succeed. So I go into the city, and I'm immediately hit by, well, the rather obvious thing with the moon, which seems to be afflicting us all. And after spending a couple hours in the city, I heard about that pub called the Magician's Knob, and thought that would be a pretty good place to start networking, just getting to know the area, who's here, whose shoes should I not be stepping on, where it's safe to go, that whole thing. Had heard briefly about the Enlightened. I wasn't really too concerned with them because I figured I could keep my head down for the most part. And if push really came to shove, I'm a lot more dangerous than them. So I head on down to Magician's Knob, and While I'm there, I meet one of the what calls them Souls the Awakened magician. All that seems to be something of seems to be playing the seer. She's just putting on a show for everyone. She was very curious at me because obviously I was one of the first kindred back in the city, and she hadn't seen one before. So she was very curious about me and was asking me all these questions and shit. As I'm answering some of those questions and saying, well, I can't really answer those other questions, I feel another kindred creeping around the area, looking horribly out of place, and feel pretty close tie to her, which immediately creeps me the fuck out because I'd only been in the city for a few hours. And that person, well, suffice to say, was the child of a wolf, Emily Stevenson. She was also very curious at me, and I am immediately, no fucking please get away from me, I'm just going to ignore the shit out of you and head into the pub. There I meet Ashcroft, who, as it turns out, is an absolute fucking star. And I get myself a drink on the house, at least first time. And just begin, having a chat with them about the land and the state of the city, where I should be going, what the fuck has been happening with all the kindred in the city recently. As it turns out, I was one of the first to show up. He told me a little bit about the sheriff who'd recently shown up. And he's got some sort of score to settle. Now, during that time, Emily walks in and is much more awkward. She seems to have a really big problem handling people in general. She's even more socially awkward than I am, which I consider an accomplishment of sorts. And she just kind of is awkwardly glancing at me the whole time and kind of seeing if she can get an edge in sideways to have a chat or something. And eventually I'm just like, okay, she's not going to leave me alone. So I just get up and we introduce ourselves to each other. I don't really tell her too much because the love sympathy is fairly strong. She seems to connect the dots, but I say I'm not really willing to tell her at that point in time. And we more or less go our separate ways after kind of dilly-dallying around the subject matter. Then,
no, just to describe as you're saying this, as you're explaining the past, like weeks, the past days, the past month, and he listens very, very sharply, very focused, and as soon as you mentioned, you're a magician's knob, he just laughs, actually, sort of. Because a rude gesture, we've all been there, we've all had awkward nights there, but then just every comment you said about your sibling or sister, and he just shakes his head, surprised, like there's another, I'm amazed and surprised. But her reactions and stuff are so he doesn't quite know, and then he carry on.
One other thing before we parted ways, that Seer showed up and started the show. Apparently she has a penchant for prophecy, something I kind of overheard from Ashcroft. This is one of her little prophecies, which was fairly to the point because it pretty flagrantly involved me and Emily, and I have no idea in what way. Okay, so I have no idea how it's... So basically the prophecy came down to me and Emily are bickering, and then a rather blunt metaphor for the wolf in the form of a wolf is kind of circling us and observing. Which I find obviously unnerving because I haven't been in contact with him since I've been embraced, and then I immediately run into his second shoulder a few hours within entering the city. Puts me very ill at ease.
Look, okay, kid. He kind of pauses you, he puts his hands up and stops like, wow, okay. Look, I get it. You've been through a lot, kid. Now, I'll give you like a couple of things here. One, that's the best fucking story I've heard for the past few weeks since I've come back to London now. Hell, screw that. That's probably the best story I've heard for the past couple of centuries.
I'm here to impress.
But look, all I can tell you is that Wolf character now, he's an outsider. No one. Yeah, I don't know. No one accepts him as a kindred. No one accepts him as a covenant. But he's just a guy that, I don't know. He's just about. Now, what I know is the look. I'm giving you this as a freebie because fuck it. You're a berserker, but by God, you're Carthian still.
I hope that's in a good way, not a bad way.
The wolf, when the blood thief took over, it just went to fucking shit in the handbag, man. When the Carvano, when that movement took over, they just fucking turned the whole Carthian movement into a fucking freak show. When the carnivals just ripped it apart. And look, I'm not proud of this. The Carthians are noble. We're powerful in group. The stronger we are, the more we are. But sometimes we can get savage, and sometimes we can get raw. And I think you're a result of that. And the wolf, he was just paid to help the blood thief. Some deal, some arrangement. He was allowed to experiment. He was allowed to torture, manipulate, and twist Carthians, and they became better soldiers. They became better troops, and they were called berserkers. Now, I'm telling you now, they're all dead. None of those poor sons of bitches are alive. But the fact that you are here, well, either your mind's been erased, altered, or you're just so plain ignorant of the fact or delusional of what you are. But in either case, you're Carthia. Bad for worse, I accept you as a brother.
Oh, I hope I can prove myself more than just my fists.
Look, it's just the first day.
Yes.
Now, I appreciate your honesty, as overwhelming as your goddamn honesty is, and as heavy a burden it is. And he's laughing, joking, he's pouring you more sort of vitae, and this is alcohol laced vitae as well. There's a sort of kick to it. There's a slight joy to it as you drink it. Look, I get it. I've had a few in here that have had problems, issues, but let me give you our message at least. You've told me a lot. Let me tell you something about us. We're here, and we're going to free the kindred. We're going to reclaim London. We're going to make it modern. We're going to make it established. We're going to make it human. We're going to embrace ideals those invictus old sons of bitches can't understand, won't understand. And we're going to force it down their throats. Now, I'm no leader. Hell to God, I was a foot soldier. Before I woke up during the war, and they told me all the Carthian leadership were massacred or killed. And they looked to me for goddamn leadership. In the old days, I just rode horses. That's all I did. But now, you're looking for me for leadership. And for what I can guess, I'm the oldest one of the Carthians, of the Gallows Party. Well, the only one son of a bitch left. And if you want, you can become part of this brotherhood, part of this companionship, and we can free the kindred. Fuck if I die, but as long as the movement lives, I'll die happy. Now, can you agree to that? Or you have any thoughts on that, at least?
Hell, I was a Carthian the moment I signed one of the walls. I paid a visit to the tunnels.
Look, I got a lot to tell you. There's a whole heap of history to levy on you, but let's just simply say I'll make you initiate into this movement. I'll give you membership on a trial basis. We have to be cautious here. We have the Invictus in town. Crone sons of bitches have been giving us problems with their goddamn rituals, but
I can tell you this: the Invictus are programming with the wildlife pretty hard. I used to have a monopoly on all the animals in town, but they're trying to move in as well.
So you are like a true gangrel, yeah, and you have the animal's ears whispering in your head.
Yeah. Had a little friend, probably my only friend for 10 years, was my dog.
Jesus. I can't blame you. My best friend I've had for these couple of years after waking from my deep sleep is that fine car you see outside there, the Ford Mondeo 66. Oh, such a sexy machine. But I can relate. We need someone like you. Someone that can control the whispers of an animal, the world that we don't see or acknowledge. I get it. I understand. Do you think you can do that for us? Can you be our eyes and ears? Give us some tips. Give us some feelers out there in London.
I mean, I can give you some right now if you want. There are revenants in town.
Yeah, we have noticed that.
Yeah. Out of a clinic. They had a Nosferatu. They were paying a Nosferatu to dump bodies. Not off the Invictus, I don't think. I think it was Jakul, I think. But they had he had a little arrangement with them, and but he was never told that he was shipping out revenants, and it ended very poorly for him. He's still around. We managed to get him out.
Look, we noticed that problem too. Something about this city, I don't know. It awakens reverence, wakens the dead from their slumber. We've dealt with it, but goddamn, I gotta give it to those Invictus. They know how to handle a secret, and well, arrangements have been made, but for the sake of the benefit of the kindred community, we've had to agree to certain terms.
Did you hear that a hound's dead? He wasn't killed. He was dabberized.
For you know, like the banshees and that stuff, that's a separate issue for another time, for another matter. Look, you're still an initiate. We need some proof of your loyalty, of your commitment to the Carthian cause. After that, we'll welcome you as a brother. We'll give you the right to a vote. We'll give you the right to appeal. We'll give you the right to goddamn combat. But until then, please just understand things are tense here right now, and allowing a berserker into our faction is gonna have to grease some wheels for that.
I get it. I'm an unknown, and I have a lot of strings attached to me. In some context, I guess, in some way, I guess I always knew that.
Well, look, what do you know about these enlightened facilities, these medical centers, these?
Well, I haven't really paid a visit to one. I mean, I don't really know how to say this. I'm pretty normal. Like, I'm not being picked out. But I knew one of the Enlightened. I knew one of their leaders. I could actually go so far as to call him my friend before he died. They call themselves the Martyrs of something. The one I knew was the Martyr of Truth. He actually used to be the old Prince's Ghoul.
Jesus.
And that's why he joined the Enlightened, because one day, you know, he was a jester for the court, and one day he told the truth, and that pissed them all off. So he was thrown out with nothing, but he found a place among the Enlightened and became a martyr of truth. And the martyrs, they're human, but they have powers. The martyrs don't die; they come back when you kill them.
Look, kid, if you're telling me the Martyr of Truth is dead,
He was killed by basically being told the truth he couldn't accept. As soon as he started to deny
something. If he's gone, then this fucked up show is far worse than I thought. He was the reasonable son of a bitch.
Yeah.
God damn it. That means his sister is about.
Silence.
Okay. Thank you for that. That does inform us a lot. Now, we didn't realize how severe it was in London. We thought it was fairly, tit for tat and compromisable, but okay, yeah. If she's about, we'll reinforce things now. Look, okay, I'm gonna have to apologize. I have to expel you from this.
Yeah, that's fine.
But look, I know more about you, Jonathan. I can tell you more, but you gotta give me something for it. You gotta prove yourself. You gotta be willing to prove yourself for it. And I'll help you. I'll goddamn tell you every goddamn truth. I'll tell you everything that happened that night with the blood thief and the wolf. But there are kindred that are locked up in those enlightened facilities.
What the fuck?
They're kindred locked up. They're being goddamn examined. They're being tortured. And look, we have our policies, we have our issues, but every kindred, they're free being. They deserve the right to be alive. They deserve the right to be protected. If you go in there, you rescue them, you help them, you bring them into the Carthian fold, I'll tell you everything about your past. Can we have an agreement on that?
I'm in, mate. Thanks for giving me this chance. I appreciate it. I really do.
Please don't lick my ass so soon. I'm not doing this to please my own ego. I'm not doing this to help you. You go in there. You rescue those kindred that have been captured. You bring them into the Carthian fold. And I'll give you what you deserve. I'll give you what you should deserve anyway. The truth. God damn that blood thief.
Too right. All right, well, I'll get out of your hair before someone ruffles it even more.
He just gestures for you to leave the office and to walk out. And as you go, of course, you just get the glary-eyed individual who knew you out earlier, staring at you, just that angry, god damn it, the severe, angry glance and rage and force that sort of emanates from this individual. But yes, you zoom past the Brick Lane Chop Shop and you kind of exit out, and you've been given some information, but then left with more questions. And we'll zoom in on your characters. You kind of exit the chop shop with these sort of the neon lights blinking in and out. And it's starting to rain now. Again, that oily, wet rain. And last thoughts and feelings for the scene.
Jonathan's mind leaps to two separate thoughts, one of which is the excitement for answers. Man, he has been looking for answers for 10 years. 10 years! And finally, it's kind of ironic, but it's from the very faction that turned him into this to begin with. And that genuinely brightens his day, that for once, man, with everything that's happened, there's finally a light at the end of this tunnel, that because he's not looking for a happy ending, he just wants to know what he is. He's not looking for someone to treat him well. He's looking for someone to be upfront about him. And he neither got treated well nor got the truth for 10 years. And now's a chance that he might actually get both. And then the other part of his mind leaps to the more practical matter of how is he even going to get these people out? How is he going to be able to help them? It kind of occurs to him that there must be dozens of enlightened agents in these clinics. He's already ruled out the possibility of just going in head first. He can't do that. It's too. There are too many people. So it's always been humanity's advantage over kindred. There's more of them. So he just needs to do it the way he's used to. He's good at creeping around, finding information, seeing what other people miss, seeing if he can find a way in. Maybe get people out without anyone ever even noticing. And yeah, those are his thoughts as he kind of leaves. As his brain the cogs kind of kick into overdrive.
And I think with that, we shall happily end scene as we zoom out of this Brick Lane Chop Shop. As one individual leaves all these thoughts, questions, ideas coming through his head. And the owner of this establishment wondering, my God, I've had many in tonight, but that's a new one. But as this individual leaves with his thoughts and feelings, we see another kindred, another individual, and another line behind them, all queuing up to the Brick Lane chop shop, all wanting to be made anew, rebuilt, given purpose. And with that, we will happily end scene. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed this show.